Hello and welcome to another super exciting, no, I've oversold that. Hello and welcome to another exciting Lego Mega Build episode. We're still on the Falcon, obviously. I've got this, and it's part of the engine coupling system, I think. So it just wants a bit of a flourish on it today. So, saw Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom last night. Will I be talking about that a lot today? Possibly. I intend to. But then I discovered that it doesn't come out in America for some time. Like a month or so. Or I think it's the 22nd. And it's something around not the 22nd today. Which is a long time. That's for what is quite a big film. Or is it a big film? The first one made a lot of money, like billions, I think. It's like the second highest grossing film ever. I may have made that up. But it's somewhere like that. It's definitely in the big lists. I need you and you. And then you clip together. Good. Right, okay. So part of me thinks, well, maybe I shouldn't talk about it because the thing is, I don't care, right? I'm not worried about spoiling it for you. If you're American, you want to see it, and you think I might ruin it, which I probably won't, because knowing me, I'll only talk about weirdly specific things that don't actually have anything to do with the story. I definitely am going to do that. But you know, you can turn off. I don't have many viewers. This isn't Game of Thrones here. You can skip an episode or two if you don't want to. Wait, I shouldn't encourage people to do that, should I? But if you start spoiling those sort of things, you risk the unspoken agreement of when you Americans get your films early, which well, I mean, they're not early. We're getting them late, is what it is. You get them when you should, because they're all American films for the most part. Ant-Man and the Wasp. That you get that a month before us in England. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Most of my viewership isn't American. Or is it? Actually, I think most of it might be. Have I made this without looking by accident? There's a huge risk doing that. It's all just fluff what I've just put on. It's nothing structural. It's just for looks. All right, just set that aside and build something new. That's going to clip on something else later, I'm sure. There we are, one of these. So, it's a good film. Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. Jurassic World 2, The Lost World. It should have been called The Lost World. No, it shouldn't have, actually. The only thing is, the trailers for it did accidentally give away... I wouldn't say the plot, particularly, because I couldn't really tell what was going on for the most part from the trailers, this is. I didn't see them a huge amount, like maybe 2 or 3 times. I try and avoid trailers, but at the same time, I go to the cinema a lot and end up, therefore, watching the trailers a lot. But other than that, I don't watch them. I don't watch them online when they come out. I don't scrutinise them, because that can only end in trauma. But they did give away the structure, I thought, such that you could see there was a volcano on an island and a rescue attempt where they clearly get blue. And then also there was a lot of stuff in a mansion of some sort, a big house. And from seeing that, I was thinking, well, that's clearly... Those things aren't happening at the same time. That house isn't on the island. Well, that would have been cool if there was just a secret mansion with a lava shield. It's like, yeah, come hang out here. It's very Resident Evil, actually, that mansion. To the point where I saw it and I was like, this is just Resident Evil now. There was the lab underneath. There were secrets throughout. There was a weird dinosaur exhibit. I was like, this is literally But then I got to thinking, actually, maybe the one in Resident Evil is actually based off something else, and it's like double jeopardy. They're not ripping off Resident Evil because Resident Evil ripped them off first, is what it could have been. Is that right? I think that's all there is to it. So then this clips to here via the black. Yep. Okay, so we got this. And now to add pegs to it. Oh. A text message. Just been invited to lunch at a pub. I've just eaten lunch, but like a light lunch, like a I could eat a meal in like an hour and a half. So I have to go no. Damn it! What an annoyance. Pub lunch as well on a Saturday. That's one of those things, isn't it? It's a dangerous route to go down. If you do that, you get back at like 2-3 o'clock, don't you? And there's a lethargy to it. You can't do a whole lot for the rest of the day, but you can't do nothing either. And then what do you do in the evening? Because you've had a big meal, but you're still a little bit peckish, but you don't want a full meal, and you end up just. Do you have a fruit salad? I don't. It's a dangerous road. Completely lost my train of thought thanks to that. Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, ripping off Resident Evil. Yeah. No, it's a problem that I've noticed in. That's not right. They had this problem in Jurassic World as well as in the new one, where they can't seem to work out what a lot of money is. For me, this is like. There's a line in Jurassic World about the Indominus Rex when they're chasing after it, trying to kill it, and they say it's like they say how much it costs to make it and what it's worth, and I think it was something like $80 million, right? Which, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's more money than I'll ever have, probably. Maybe, hopefully. But in the scheme of things, it's not actually that much money for what it is when you. Because I know, like, the park itself has got to be generating a lot of money. A theme park like that with the admission prices and people say it's ridiculously expensive. Yeah, it's going to be a lot to run, but it's making a lot of money. And it's also implied that the Masrani company that owns it operate it, not at a loss, but it's not their main source of income. Like, he's involved in all sorts. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's not enough money. It's not a bankrupt a nation sort of money. It's a heavy loss, but Disney spent $4 billion buying Marvel or Star Wars, and I think was it $2 billion? Minecraft was worth $2 billion. So these numbers they're a lot, but they don't feel enough to a certain extent. Like any like. Well, a lot of people could, in theory, afford the setup fees. It's not like only Bill Gates could do it. You ain't got to be ultra rich. You just got to be very, very rich. And then they had the same thing in this new one where there was a point like, okay, here's where we're talking about the plot. They go to the island to get the dinosaurs. They trick the heroes into thinking they're saving them when actually they're just capturing them, mostly to sell off for, frankly, a minor profit. That's the point. They actually auction the dinosaurs off to just various collectors for a number of different reasons. Like, it's implied some of them just want them as pets. Some people are looking for like trophy hunting things. They want to hunt a dinosaur. It's like the usual list of around the world baddies as well. It's like, here are some Arabs buying, here's some Slovakians or Slovenians buying, because apparently they've got a lot of money. It's like, oh yeah, what? Here's the Korean delegate, but we won't say north or south because reasons. The amount of money the dinosaurs were going for just wasn't that much. Like they were selling them for like between 10 million and I think 20 or 30 million dollars, which is a lot, but it's not like, I don't know, a lot of the mega wealthy like to show off by buying huge yachts for hundreds of millions. So they should have just times the amount by about 10 would have made it more reasonable, weirdly. Like when I'm on there and I'm seeing you can get a dinosaur for 10 million, I was like, I mean, I haven't got that, but I could get like a group of about 10 people together and I could find that sort of money, you know? It's just not high enough. And the new Raptor they built, the ultra scary, I think it was called the Indoraptor in the film, which isn't a great name. They kind of lost that ability. For good naming. I feel like I haven't got enough pieces. No, there's one missing. What is it? Ah, yeah, okay, that's good. I was skipping around thinking about wild sums of money, possibly showing a certain amount of privilege. Yeah, so the Indoraptor, which is supposed to be their new like ultra advanced raptor that it will fully listen to commands and sort of kill whoever you want killed, and is the most intelligent deadly beast yet, and was frankly pretty cool actually. I liked it. It was cool. It has a pretty cool design and they do some cool stuff with it. It actually works very well. They're showing this off, and then suddenly the bidding starts on it. They weren't going to sell it, and then they're like, well, people are bidding, we might as well sell it. Put some phones on that. And then it ends up like, I think it's in the background. They don't show it specifically, but the rough price I saw for it was about 40 million for like the ultimate weapon, essentially. And I was thinking, I don't know offhand how much a tank costs. It's a fair amount, but I've got a feeling you can buy a fighter jet for in the realms of like, I want to say 20 million. I'm not sure if that's true. Like 100 million sounds like a fair ballpark, but I was thinking like, weapons cost a lot of money. That's actually relatively cheap, considering what it could essentially do. Well, it was bulletproof. I don't really know what you'd use it for in modern warfare, particularly. In Jurassic World, it was strongly implied that, yeah, we can use drones. That's all well and good, but what happens, you know, when someone turns a drone off? It will turn on us. I was like, these dinosaurs constantly turn on you. That's all they do. Shit. I need there it is. I genuinely thought I'd run out. That's weird that I need this blue peg and it's the last one available, so there's no spares, which is very unusual. It's making me think I've made an error somewhere. Okay. It's very useful, right? Whenever there's one of these sort of long pieces they're plus shaped or cross shaped, they always give you a specific thing telling you this is the size of it. So it'll be a 1-to-1 picture on here that will line up, which is great. But I've literally never had an error finding one because they're all different colours and they're all very specific. It's never been ambiguous which one's correct. If they did it for, you know, any other piece, it would be way more useful. All right, that's looking good there. The actual film itself, it was good. The pacing was a little bit unusual. Weirdly, it was a bit like in The Lost World, where in the Lost World, you've very specifically got everything on the island and then everything off the island, and the two never really meet that much. Even though the stuff off the island's actually like, if this is the island stuff, this is the off the island stuff at the end. It's not like half and half like in this film. But there's like once they're off the island, it's like yeah, these characters that are on the island, they're gone. Vince Vaughn's character, he's gone. Roland Tembo, he just fucks off. I want to say Vince Vaughn's character's name was Nick. And there's no real consequences to the fact that, yeah, loads of people died. Or anything like that. Ah, shit, I've made a mistake. Wait, have I? Oh, no, I haven't. Nearly had. These have to point out that way. And then jam some things in the end. But yeah, this one, it was very much like, well, I'd almost call it two acts in a sense, where there's the stuff on the island, which is really cool with the volcano and all that, and then they're not on the island. They're in this house, which it actually felt very video game like, where all the press and the trailers for the video game would be telling you about like this island and how cool it was, and it's like, well, yeah, that's the first level. The other 4 levels are in this house. Which, granted, is cool, but it's like, well, it's a lower budget location, certainly. Okay, so that's looking pretty good at this point. Add another one in there. And then connect this to this. Perfect. Right. Okay, now it gets complicated because I remember having this trouble before where I made this mirror image one, so I've got 2 of these now. Yeah, and then this thing here, and somehow it all connects to the back of the Falcon to make something. Let's see. So this goes like this. Nope. Right, I need to assess if these are like fully the same. They're not the same, which makes it a little bit easier to figure out which one goes where. This one goes this side, and this one goes this side. The thing is, they don't actually seem to connect to this bit, which I've never realised until now is actually fully hinged. Well, to a certain extent, I mean, it just fell off, but... Right, so that... Is there anything for that to grip on, maybe? No, it just seems to just have to be. About here-ish. I've got a bar missing, maybe. No. Right, let's try and get these on to start with. So how does this go? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's on there, and then this bit clips in here at a fairly sharp angle. I've just ripped a piece off of the innards. What was that? So some sort of phone. I'll figure that out in a minute. What are you trying to tell me? Is that? There's a place where it could definitely go in, but there's already a peg there. Oh, it's hinged. It's hinged, I didn't realise. That's made it much easier. I'm aware you can see none of this, but you know, got to keep some of the magic alive, haven't you? As I'm forcing this plastic together. All right, so that's on there, and the good news is it in no way connects to this. So my theory about that is completely wrong. All right, let's reattach this inner bit I knocked off. It's fallen off. Don't actually know where it went, but I'm assuming it was symmetrical in nature and fallen off again. Not going to be that easy to put in. Damn my fat hands. Fortunately it's Lego and you can just take apart any piece that's in the way. The trouble is, I need to use my left hand to do it, and my left index finger lacks the dexterity necessary to actually help me out. I just took the bit out. I made it significantly easier. Now hopefully it will go straight back in with no issue. It looks a bit like part of like a hyperdrive console or something that they were fixing in Empire, if I had to guess. Okay, that's all back to normal. Now this bit should go on relatively easy because I know how now. Brown cow. Okay, yep, that's bad. I just took off everything. Shit. I just fucking pushed off all this nonsense. I don't know where any of it went though. Damn it. Alright, I need to... I've got to backtrack now and find out where that went. What a pain. Shouldn't be too difficult here. It's this bit. This is what I need. It goes that bit facing that way. I'd say it goes about here, which could be right. Then this bit goes on top. Yep, that actually was all correct. Brilliant. Now, just need to fold this in a bit. Good, shove that in there. Trouble is, I've got to get 2 pegs in. I did it, never mind, no trouble. Well, that's all well and good. The trouble I now face is that this is supposed to be attached, and I haven't, because I was hoping it would attach itself somehow, even though I do know that's really not how any of this works. Let's go back to that section and see what I cocked up. So this goes in. What is this image showing me? I was hoping I might have secretly built a joint into this that I hadn't realised, but not the case. So that's showing me that. And it's showing me that it goes in above that. Which... Is there anything keeping this in? No. Yeah, it's on a hinge, right. So this goes in here. But there's nothing to clip onto. It can't just sit there, can it? It's not right. Ah, there's a bar. I found a thing it might clip into. Hopefully. No, folding it up didn't help. Having these bits on here has made this more difficult. Please tell me I haven't got the whole frame off by 1 as well. That might just kill me. Right, I need this to not be here. Right, there we go. Fold that out. I think the one on that side's all right. Okay, this is falling apart. There's not a lot holding this whole thing together. There's two 2x1 clips, that's it. And they're not that sturdy. It's tempting me to put in like a bracing section, just temporary, like scaffolding. But I don't have any such pieces, unless... No, I don't. Okay. Let's get down in on this. Push that up there. Alright, What am I gripping here? And is it sturdy? Kind of. Nope. I've just knocked multiple things off. I think I'm gonna have to invert it. I can't remember if it's actually safe to invert anymore at this stage. I've also knocked off this kind of turrety looking thing, and I need to find out where from. Right. 1, 2, 3, there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, that's fine. 1. Okay, it came off of here from this location. Right, let's go. Right, let's invert it and hope to God it all stays. I already know this piece is going to come off, so I'm just going to set that aside. That's expected though. Okay. Right, good. And I was smart enough to put the side facing me that I actually need to see. Meant to happen. It's always that side that comes off as well. Maybe it's because I'm right-handed, so I pick it up with a stronger grip on that side. All right, I put the book squarely in the way. All right, so that slots in. Maybe if I go in at a different angle. No, that doesn't help. I'm putting it in upside down, which is not a great method. All right. I'm at the thing it needs to be on, but it's not quite playing ball. I'm going to remove some flare from this. I'm hopeful that will help. Probably won't, but man can hope. Okay, set them aside. Damn it, where's the page? This set of instructions is horseshit here. It really is. It tells you basically nothing. The one piece of advice it gives you is it has to be above or below one other bit. That's it. And it's upside down though, so even that's hard to read. Okay. So that's... The thing that's annoying me is it shouldn't be this difficult, which makes me think I've got something wrong. Okay, tentatively, it is in place to a certain degree. I have had to remove 2 bits of flare, which may have been in the wrong place anyway, to be honest. Let's see, were they in the wrong place? The outermost one should be around there anyway. The things we do for Lego. I have little faith that this is gonna, frankly, even survive me turning it over. Oh, you bitch. You utter horrendous bitch. Okay. Grabbing this in the middle. My arm's stuck. Okay, all right. It's attached. Let's leave it at that. It's being held on by fuck all, honestly. And it's at an angle that I do not like, but it is attached. So let's just pray for what we have. You bastard. Now I've got to get this damn clip back in that I took out. Okay, right, that's good. Now we can move forward. And hopefully, hope to God the next step, so yeah, put 1,000 clips in to hold this sturdily. Is it supposed to be square? Because mine is not square. That is something I worry about. The tubes will save me. They'll be for strength, I'm sure. Okay. Okay. The trouble is, everything going forward is just adding to this now, so it's not... there won't be any easy steps. I'm not saying, you know, I'm hot and sweaty, but doing that activity has given me a certain amount of, let's say, glow, shall we? Like you're on the precipice. You do any more exertion and your sweat glands are like, all right, it's go time, boys. Let's drench this fella. I maintain it's because I'm well hydrated at all times and my fitness is of a certain level where, you know, when need be, should the need arise at the drop of a hat, my body will go like, right, that's it, drench him. Fucking needs cooling down immediately. Should be an advantage, logically. Socially, no. Practically, it is, yeah. You keep cool when you need to. Right, well, that's an issue. That's a fucking issue. See, there's these 3 pegs coming out here. You can't see it, but there are. I put it on fucking the wrong way. Got to take the whole damn thing off. Come off in one, you prick. Maybe the brick separator will help me. I don't know how this fucking witchcraft works, but it's genius. I had to take apart so many things to solve what was such a tiny issue. I feel the right fool. There we go. Wait. I put too many on. Damn it. Damn it. For fuck's sake. Now the hardest separation of all. 2 bricks that are exactly the same. What have I done? Put them on a bigger piece. That's going to help. I can't hold anything. Alright, we've got a slit. It's possible to get in there. Right, let's look at the instructions proper this time. So that, yeah, that's there, and then that's there. It's 2, then 1, then the top. Okay, it's fine. Somehow I threw another brick into the mix just to make things more exciting, apparently. Speaking of excitement, it's fucking E3 next week, or, well, this week. This video's out in the midst of E3. Well, no one's watching this, are they? For other reasons than that. Alright, so this goes on the back. It doesn't touch the very flimsy bit I've put in. It's merely adjacent to it. I try and keep my excitement about E3 down, so as not to over-egg it. It's not that. I don't pay attention until basically it's happening. And this year was much the same. And I pretty much just, the other day I was like, E3 must be coming up. I wonder when it is. I looked, I was like, oh, it's Monday. Oh, that's great. Because it is an exciting time of year for the gamers, isn't it? It's full of hope and wonder and promise. A lot of it is pomp and lies, but you know, it's also what could be. And as a Nintendo fan, a lot of it is like, Nintendo, here's what they promise, and then you go back a year later, it's like, yeah, it all happened. That's fair enough. And a lot of the other companies is like, yep, it's coming one day, Crackdown 3, it'll happen, apparently. I nearly brought an Xbox One at launch because I like the look of Crackdown 3. What a mistake that would have been, apparently. Still not out, many years later. And Scalebound as well, I was interested in that. Not because of what the game looked like in any way, just because of the bloke making it. I like him. Not enough to know his name, obviously. Kind of glided into it, but we've just thrown on all the pipes. They were very satisfying to put on, actually. Now the fences. Which, on the diagram, they are bent. So, we're going to bend them. Gently. Okay, that's... Yeah. Are they symmetrical? Pretty much. It's something you should do with every Lego piece when you pick it up, is say to yourself, is this symmetrical? Because it's very important. Alright, so... And now it's a new bag. Obviously, because I've got no pieces left. Actually, I have got one or two... In fact, there's about... I don't know, 6 pieces that are a bit too big to be left. I feel I've made an error somewhere, and I'm just gonna sort of scan this very quickly, because I can already see where this is meant to go. And you know what? The funny thing is, you know how earlier I said it's always the right-hand side that comes off? It's because this is a piece that strengthens that side. So that's a benefit. Now this bit. There's no telling where it went. I think it might go on this outer edge, actually, because it seems odd that these two sides aren't symmetrical. And I can see that, yes, it does indeed go on that outer edge. How did I miss that? It was you were making me talk about Jurassic World, wasn't it? Yeah, it was supposed to already be on. Yeah, if I were to backtrack, it's this step I just skipped entirely. And let's see, it goes on horizontally. Last stitch. Something like this. Believe that to be correct. But it isn't. Should be. But it's not. Why isn't it? What's wrong with this? It's about 2 blocks short, specifically. Could actually remove this whole section, because it's not, structurally it's not doing anything. If I unclip it from here, no, it's not worth it. I could just, if I study the picture enough, I'll be able to see using my superior focus and intellect. What's the issue? So I clip that on, and that clipped on to there. I can see the issue. It's small but massive at the same time. How am I going to do this? If I unclip just the right pattern, I can remove what is in error. I can do this. I can rebuild this. Okay, let's chuck that on there. Where's the piece? There it is. Okay. And that goes on like this. It's alright, I've fixed it. It's fine. Yeah, it's all good. It's all nice. It's not symmetrical though, which is confusing. One side's on incorrectly. I'll be able to tell from this image which it is. No. It's just not symmetrical, the whole thing. It's weird. Don't question it. Right. There's these little bits as well, which are kind of striking and should clearly go somewhere. Let's see if I can decipher where. Shouldn't be too difficult. I'd sooner do it now than never, and definitely don't want to do it later. That's my thinking. And that now is not an easy time to do it, but it is certainly the easiest. Were this like a school project, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd go on without it, and then when later questioned, I'd feign ignorance. I found the section where it probably goes. Okay, right. Shouldn't be too bad. It seems to be that they all go on a bit where it's just put them on the whole ship somewhere, and I couldn't see where. Oh yeah, they go here, right on top. It's fine. It's just a bit of styling that would likely come up later, and I'd likely have noticed the issue then. One troubling factor is I was a bit short, but now I'm not. I mean, I'm still a bit short in life, but what can you do? Short people live longer, so fuck you. Right, now that just leaves us with these few bits left. Now, the red square is probably spare, so's this and this. They're fine, we can accept those. This little plastic bar, I expect is as well. These two little one-off ramps, I think they probably are, and they're never important, so I can add them in later anyway. These two flat bits, however, terrify me, because these probably aren't spare. But because they're flat, it means they'll only ever go on right at the end anyway. Like nothing will have to connect to them. So let's see if I can find where they went. But I don't think they're an issue, because I've skimmed through the whole thing and haven't noticed it anyway. It could be here. I think that's the only bit where they could go. What the hell is that though? It's the arse section of the ship. Do you know what would be nice? If I could just winch the table up. Okay, I think I can see where they should go. And yeah, not good. It's not good. Right, if I just gently yet forcefully, not there, but there, grab that and just sort of elevate it to this position. Shit. I can't get enough force on. Use the force. It might genuinely be the first time I've made that joke. It should be quite easy. Gonna have to remove a few little sections to do it though. The thing is, this is the first time I've come to the end of a bag and really scrutinised the leftovers. And I'm sure I've had bigger leftovers than this in the past, which is a little bit alarming, isn't it? Going forward, this will be new procedure, will be to add scrutiny to what is left. It would be nice if they told you what was spare, to be honest. This is a real dick move not to. Okay, but I think that's it. These, I will assume those are full spares. Looking at all the spares I've had in the past, the only one that probably isn't one is this flat panel. But who's going to notice that? Enthusiasts, that's who. Right, it's on to a new bag. You can already see it slipping, can't you? I think this is episode 8 or 9 of this, or part 8 or 9. And I'm only just opening bag 6. So early on, I went fucking nuts. It's like, 1 bag an episode. Naive fool. Yes, that is a 6. They do a thing where, you know, sometimes the 6 has a little full stop next to it. Like there. And sometimes it doesn't. Just to add a little intrigue, you know? I like this already. It seems to be almost entirely these long bits. Also, it says on here that this is the bit where I add all the stuff to the front, which had I known that seconds ago, I would have probably turned this around, so I was adding it to the front. But that's neither here nor there. How's time going? Got 15 minutes, enough to start. Enough to talk a little bit more about Jurassic World as well. It's not a great film. I'm going to say that now. I enjoyed it, but it's not a great film. It's no Jurassic Park 1. I hesitate to even say this because of the implication, but it kind of reminded me of a Transformers film, but only in as much as it's very hard to describe this. They're clearly setting up for more. And the thing is, like, none of the other Jurassic Park films really set themselves up for a sequel. Like, after Jurassic Park 1, to get to 2, they're like, there's another island with dinosaurs. It's fine. It's fine. And then for the third one, the third one's such a weird film because it was like the studio was like, yeah, give us a Jurassic Park film, but don't worry about anything more than that. And the director was like, okay, yeah, just standard stuff, got it. And he did a weirdly perfect job. In many ways, it's like the ideal Jurassic Park film, but it's also not that good of a Jurassic Park film. It's a very odd thing. It's like a tribute in many ways. It's almost like fan fiction, actually, in a weird sense. I like Jurassic Park 3, but so, you know, don't go by me on that. And then for Jurassic World, it was pretty much a reboot, and then I think it did really well, and they were like, well, we need a series out of this. Except for they had a few things in there, that, like the idea that Henry Wu was working for someone else throughout the film, and he sort of gets taken off, which is now Henry Wu's job, is that he people ask him to make something, he makes that thing, and he says, but here are the rules and here's the warning, and the person who's employed him says, I don't give a shit, fuck you. And then Henry Wu's like, well, it's all going to go wrong. I'm going to pack up my lab and leave in a hurry. Because that's what he does in 2 films now. There's scenes of him packing up his lab and leaving in a hurry. It's quite funny, really. You'd think by now he'd learned to not do so much in the lab. He'd do it, you know, at an office remotely somewhere where there's no dinosaurs to eat him. He hasn't been eaten yet, but it's going to happen. It clearly did a lot of work to set up a franchise. Like, as I say, in the first one, they had the stuff with Henry Wu, and well, that was it really, because they killed off Hoskins, which was a mistake because he was a decent enough character, and I'd like to have seen more of him. and he wasn't like fully evil enough to deserve it. And in this new one, it's clear. It's like, yeah, we're setting it up so we can make this like, one, we can make it worldwide, and two, we can like sort of go in any direction with it. We're not held back by people trying to make theme parks. It's a lot more global of a threat. But it's done well. It's good. Like, I liked all the characters in it. The child actress was bloody brilliant. No one's mentioned it, but she was very good, and she was English, which helped. I've already jumped into making this. I should have picked up some of the parts first. Wow, that really gets in there. I can fully see the next film being about a dino cop squad of some sort. And for some reason they'll have Blue reappear, or Blue won't be in it for a film or two, and then it will have its heroic re-entrance, like Fast and Furious. There's been a lot of films recently where I've felt like they've had the one good film which was fine, and then they made a sequel, and they've tried to use that sequel to set up a franchise that wasn't really there. Independence Day did this. The first film was great-ish. The second film I quite liked actually, but was also clearly trying to set up a franchise, which wasn't really there. I'm hoping they move on with it, because there's not enough sci-fi in the world. Oh, I've just got to make this again. It's just told me. Brilliant. Fast and Furious sort of was the one that started it, in a sense, because it made so much money. Triple X had a go, where they had the first film and then the second film, which was kind of unrelated but not. And then in the third one, they're like, yeah, this is all the big super team of Triple X agents now. We're making a franchise. Maybe. It's unclear whether they will or not. I quite hope they will, because it's so dumb. What do I need? These bits. These white bits is what I need. 3 of them, in fact. 1 of you. Telling me to put these together first. Maybe I'll follow their instructions to the letter this time. Just maybe. Pacific Rim 2 did it as well, where the first film very clearly ended with them winning and it being unlikely a new threat would occur. And then in the second film, they're like, oh, a new threat's occurred. And it weren't great, the second one. It was okay. I thought the robots weren't as good. Like, they were a bit too samey. They all looked a bit too like Japanese Gundam. Like, they're all made by the same guy. Whereas before, in Pacific Rim 1, it was clear that all the Jaegers were made by different nations and had different sort of styles to them. But in this one, which granted, they were, like, in film logic, they were all built by presumably the same group. But it meant they all kind of looked the same. The second one very much set up for, oh yeah, we're making a franchise of this now. This is a thing. We've got our team of racially and sexually diverse teenagers. This is going to go forward. What have I made? Is this a thing yet? Not quite. It needs a little circular bit. Miraculously, all these bits are roughly the same size and would therefore be in the same size category. But they came out of 3 separate bags, which I managed to put in 3 separate places. If I'd put them all in the same place, this would be both easier and harder. Where are you? Where are you? Damn it, can't see it. Just need one of these. Should be easy to see. I'll start tidying up. That's the sensible thing to do. You know, I'm a full-grown adult in theory, playing with Lego. So this is how you do these things. You just start tidying. The bit you need will come to you. Here it is. Got it. See, works every time. 50% of the time, it works every time. Nice. Fantastic Four 1 had a go at that whole franchise thing as well, where the first film was this is the reboot, where like the first 99% of the film was nonsense and clearly wasn't, and then the 1% at the end was like, oh yeah, we're the Avengers now, here's our facility, it looks exactly the same. None of you people have ever spoken to each other, but it's fine. What a god-awful film that was. Right, these two need to go on to the main structure now, which involves turning it. Okay, I started, but I have no real idea where I'm going to end up. Does that work? Yeah, that works. So they go on with that bit forward, that bit that way, that bit like that, and they face here. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually that's very easy. I was too focused on the details when if I'd have just looked at the big picture, it would have been clear where it all went. I'm not sure if I feel a term like small-mindedness would be what you'd call that. Come on. There we go. Damn it. See, trouble is, I've got to fit 4 pegs in at once, so they've all got to kind of go in together. If one goes in too easily, it stops all the others going in. Damn it. There we go. Okay. That's good. I like that. Nice, solid addition. It's not going anywhere. Very sturdy. Okay, I seem to have to make a large Dorito next. My area of expertise, as it happens. Oh, I could do some E3 predictions, couldn't I? I haven't really got anything. The new Assassin's Creed will be shown off, and it'll and everyone will say, so you're not taking a year off again? Are you gonna? Is it going back to one every year now? Is that just it? Can you not do one every other year? Surely that would be better for you. That's the thing that'll probably happen. Hopefully there'll be some deeply embarrassing on-stage moments that won't really work. I'm hoping there'll be some news of some like Switch. What I want is re-releases on Switch, some HD stuff. I want Prime Trilogy, ideally. I want Skyward Sword for some obscene reason. And other such things. Little triple, there we are. Single stud. Great. Ah, bastard, there's 2 coloured grey studs in this. It's going to cause me endless aggro, isn't it? Is it light grey or dark grey? Sadists. Little square bits, what I need next. Where is, there it is. So the hard part about opening a new bag is sort of knowing the rough locations of things. Once you get into the meat of it a bit, you start knowing where everything is to a certain extent, and it's pleasant. But early on, it's like, oh shit, I don't know where anything is. There's 1,000 pieces in here. Actually, I would like to know how many pieces per bag. Should give you a little running tally at the bottom saying, oh, you're now, like, piece-wise, not book-wise, because I'm not even halfway, you've put in, like, 30% of the bits. Right, is that correct? No. From a small amount of scrutiny, just, no, it's wrong. It's all wrong. And this goes through this hole. Behold, the Falcon. Oh, right, that's it. So this just clips in. That's fine. Felt like it jumped about 10 steps suddenly, but actually I just wasn't really looking at any of them. And then this has to go on showing 4 bits. Yeah. I remember that Sony announced a TV series called Powers. And in my head it was starring Sean Bean. I don't know if it actually was starring Sean Bean, but I think it was. And it was about a world in which people have superpowers, and he was a cop who used to be a superhero but wasn't anymore, something along those lines. It might have been based on a comic book series, and it was the sort of thing where I was like, oh yeah, that looks like what I'll watch. Bit of fun or whatever. I like anything superhero-y. And it's not actually out it's not available in Europe yet, I don't think. I think it's been out in the rest of the world forever. It may have come out first in Australia for some reason. There's a lot, and it's like they've just given up on it. On a similar note, the Nintendo TV service for the Wii U never made it to Europe either. It was on the box, there was a button for it, you'd press the button, and it would say, like, you know, it's not available yet, coming soon, and the console died before they could be bothered to finish it. Which is a true dick move, isn't it? I'm not one of those arseholes who would, like, raise hell about that sort of thing, but it is annoying. I doubt it would ever be a feature I'd use, but as soon as you tell me about a feature, I'm like, well, I'll give it a try, you know. I downloaded PlayStation Home, I gave that 2 minutes, and promptly thought, what the fuck is this? I put too many bits on. There's no bearing on where anything goes here. It's all just sort of loose space. It looks roughly correct, but I've nothing to tell me it is. And I refuse to count the number of bits on anything, so that's not going to help me either. Alright, I will count this. So 3, 6, 7, 3, 6. It's correct. Okay. Yep, that was not a good noise. I've made a small stick on a little hinge. Yep, just broke a piece off. That was unwise to do that. It's going to cause me some trouble. Why isn't this parallel? Okay, right. And then just 2 little bricks at the end. Where might they be? I'm starting to think it's something serious, but in the past couple of weeks now, months maybe about a month, I picked up a twitch in my left eye where, unsurprisingly, my left eye twitches every now and again. And I've had it in the past, but it'll only last for like a couple of days, and it's been going on for a while. Not constantly, just every now and again my eye will twitch. And I'm getting towards the point where I'm starting to think, do I need to investigate this further than a Google search which pretty much said, yeah, it's fine, don't worry about it. Which is rare for a health condition, actually, isn't it? Normally it's cancer. It's cancer every time, or sometimes it's double cancer. But it's not painful. It's just slightly annoying. And annoyingly, it never really occurs if I'm overly focused on anything. It's sort of when something doesn't require my full attention. Weirdly, if I'm in conversation with someone, that's a big one, which shows how much of a, I want to say narcissist or arsehole I am, where if I'm in conversation with someone, you're not getting my full attention, so my mind can wander enough to make my eye twitch. I'm going to finish off this long thing because I'm sort of halfway through decorating it at this point, and if I don't finish it, I don't know, my eye will start twitching out of annoyance. But it's one of those things, I forget I even have it until it starts happening. Like throughout this whole hour-long build process, it hasn't happened at all until just then. which goes to show you again my opinion of talking to others compared with talking to myself. Yeah, I'm fully content talking to myself, but once someone else starts, I'm like, I wonder what I have for dinner tonight. How much would you pay for a dinosaur? Okay. There's a lot of stuff on the out. I now know why there's a lot of stuff on the outside of this, because the outside of this is going to be fully visible, and it's where a lot of the look of the Falcon comes in. But it is quite complicated. And a little tiny grill. Yep, like you. That goes there. A little white bit to go on there. A bit I've never seen before to go in the middle. Yep. I wonder if that will have anything other than decoration later on. Be interesting to know. This bit, which I keep picking up, which is very bespoke, that's finally getting a bit in. But not quite yet, apparently. More little clips. So there's the grill, a space, then a double space, then the clip. And this little... I definitely should have looked at what I needed for this before starting to put them all on. Would have made it much easier. But c'est la vie. Which I want to say is French for such is life, because I very nearly just said such is life and I decided to say that instead, which makes me think that somewhere in my mind was aware of the French of that term, because I have a very loose knowledge of French. I can't speak it, but I can go some way to understand it. I do have a fair ability to understand people, though. It's hard to describe. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I better not keep going, because this is very satisfying just to decorate this all the way along. There's just a lot of detail on it. I'll leave it there at 407. It's a good stopping point, particularly because I've just realised we're on page 169, which is when a very tall, thin person stands stock still like this, watching two people 69. Or when you're trying to sleep in your bed and the two people you share it with are 69 next to you, but you're tired, so you're just going to sleep. Pencil like that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time when I probably talk about E3 stuff. I suspect, maybe, if I can hold out till then. I'll see you then.